So I remember back in middle school, I saw a whole bunch of really bad PSAs from like late 90s, early 2000s, you know, when the internet was first becoming a thing. And they were all about how once something is online, there's no taking it back. Someone's going to have saved it, they'll share it to other websites. Basically, even if you're an A-list celebrity, there's no taking that back. There's nothing you can do about it. And now, despite Dream being 1 year older than me, I guess he was just sick whenever they showed those PSAs. I probably had a tummy ache or something. Hi, I'm Kit, and today I'm going to be ranting about Dream, him taking back his face reveal, and what that made me realize about content creators and their fans as a whole throughout YouTube's history. So, without further ado, grab yourself something to drink, something to do, and let's get started on this video. On October 2nd of 2022, Dream shocked the world in a video titled Hi from Dream, where he showed his face publicly for the first time. And, you know, I'm gonna admit, I clicked on the video, I was curious. I ended up not watching the video because he doesn't show his face right away, so I just went to Google, searched Dream face reveal, and of course people who had like clicked on as soon as it launched that already had it posted. So I clicked on the video though. He got my initial click through. Hi Cleo. Are you gonna jump on the bed? Or do you want me to come downstairs? So Cleo decided to join us. There she is. She's very beautiful. I think her head's out of frame though. She might be prone to leave. Who knows? She's a good girl though. Let everyone comment how good girl Cleo is because she's so good. Anyways, back to the video. And to my unsurprise, I was completely shocked. He's a guy, like, with a face, with, like, hair and a body. Like, oh my gosh, he's a person. Now, I'll admit, I was expecting a leaner frame. He was more broad than I expected. Especially, like, a couple, like, weeks after his face reveal. I'll admit, his hair was very different. I was expecting him to like it a lot more, like, close cut, not let it be so crazy. I don't know why. I just kind of did, I guess. And now, personally, he wasn't, like, my type or anything. But also, like, I've seen uglier people. Like, he is no Quasimodo. We don't need to lock him in a bell tower or nothing. He's like average white guy. Now, with enough thinking, a lot of his features do line up with things that he has revealed about his appearance in the past. He mentioned that he used to play like football and stuff, so that explains the large build. He lives in Florida, a very high humid environment, which explains the very like fluffy curly hair. That's just what a lot of people's hair type does in humid areas. Speaking of his hair, it's a lot darker than I was assuming, but it's not surprising a lot of blondes do turn brunette as they age, and then especially since we have, assuming he wasn't lying, there is a photo of him wearing merch, I think back in like 2020 when his hair was really close cut, and it looked borderline black, so I don't know why I was expecting like super light hair. I think it's just because I grew up with a lot of blondes, so when I think blonde, I think like light, not like dirty. Now, a lot of people were shocked about how he looked, and I think part of that was due to fan art. A lot of people relied on fan art to paint a picture for them, but fan art as a whole was kind of drawing more of his persona, his speedrunning character, than him himself, because I mean, they didn't know what he looked like, but they knew how to draw a cute anime boy. Oh yeah, another note. A lot of the fan art was very anime-esque. There were a couple of people who would attempt to do realism and try to actually listen to what he claimed his traits looked like, but a lot of people were like, nah, I'm gonna draw a Tamaki Soul from Ouran High School Host Club, but give him green eyes, and that's Dream. So, when it came out that he in fact did not look like a sexy anime character like Bakugo Katsuki, Shoto Todoroki, or Ichigo Kurosaki, I know how to pronounce these names, it's very hot up here. People got mad. And I don't know if those guys are still hot. I did a Google search of like hottest anime characters and they came up. My tastes, on the other hand, are like slightly more refined, so we're moving on. So people were upset that he wasn't the hottest anime character circa 2022 because he was a human. And you know, a lot of people did let their distaste be shown via Twitter and the comments section. Now, I'm not going to downplay how mean people are and how words can affect you because that would be dumb and wrong and incorrect. However, a lot of the comments I saw were on the more silly side, and I think those were the ones that really got the most traction. Like, yeah, sure, someone probably said, like, the most atrocious garbage to you, but the ones that You even memed Dream. They were things like, oh, he looks like Shane Dawson. Oh, he looks like Rumpelstiltskin. He looks like a Shrek villager. The moon emoji. Like, these things, they're more silly. They're akin to people saying Danny Gonzalez looks like the new Buzz Lightyear, or that Lord Farquaad looks like Markiplier. Actually, the calling Markiplier Lord Farquaad, I feel like is like a super big insult. But that's probably just because of how unfortunate Lord Farquaad's name is. Let's be honest, everyone has their unconventional look-alike, and I don't want anyone to tell me what mine is, because I'm sure it will 100% destroy my morale and just make me... I don't want to make YouTube videos anymore. People are gonna say, oh, whatever. But aside from the mean comments, that was it. Dream took a short break. He, made videos with other content creators. He posted on Twitter. And that was pretty good. Everything was fine, to my knowledge. That is until June 9th, 2023, of course. After being uploaded for around 8 months, Hi from Dream suddenly vanished from YouTube. You couldn't really search it unless it was an illegal upload. But that didn't really matter. There wasn't really many illegal uploads that I knew of that weren't heavily edited. Until it was the posting of the video known as Bye from Dream. This video is very satirical in my opinion, but in the video, Dream announced he's going maskless. No more selfies, no more face, just mask, always, 100% of the time, always. Dream did a face reveal, you said. No, he didn't. He did not. He would never. He is the same masked man that you always knew, except now, turn that maskness up to 100. If he's in any type of public, he's wearing it. Do not worry. He's in a car, wearing the mask. At a sport game, wearing a mask. Having sex, wearing the mask. No, having sex, the mask stays on. But why is he doing all of this? Well, don't worry. It's not because he's insecure. He's very confident in himself. It's because he's so effing ugly that it's actually affecting how his friends' views are. In the video, George and Sapnap make the claim that ever since Dream face revealed, not only has Dream fallen off, but it's been affecting their channel and they are falling off because of Dream. Now, the obvious reason for all of this happening is because he face revealed. So take back the face reveal and everything will be fixed. We also see in the video him scrolling through the comment section on that video, and we get to see all the horrible, nasty, mean comments like, yo, dude, unrelease this, hashtag keep it on, that's what the point of the mask is, and so on and so forth. And to my knowledge, he has been making an effort to delete all traces of his face, and he has been wearing the new mask he got in public, which is really cringe in my opinion. Even if I ever become faceless, I delete all these face videos, I won't wear a mask in public. I can promise you that right now. We'll shake on it. Okay, I'm gonna assume you shaked on it. Great. Honestly, wearing the mask in public is way more attention grabbing than anything else because I'm gonna notice someone wearing a big white smiley mask a million times sooner than I'm gonna recognize just a normal arse face. So Dream & Co. blamed the decrease in views due to Dream not being a total, pun intended here, dreamboat, but I don't think that's why they had a decrease in views. They did get a decrease in views, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's because he's ugly. So for today's video, I kind of want to take a step back and look at a lot of things surrounding not only Dream's downfall, but Dream's rise to fame as well. It's March 2020. Schools are shut down, businesses closing, and you're told to go inside and lock the doors. There's a new illness that's first detected in China and has made its way across the world in only a matter of weeks. This disease is known as COVID-19. Without a clear treatment plan to fight against this rapidly spreading virus, the only advice is to lock down for a few days in order to slow the spread. That way, hospitals don't get overcrowded, resulting in improper treatment and potentially even death. Despite what experts at the time claimed, a short lockdown soon became a few weeks to a few months until we had been in lockdown for over a year. Slowing the spread slowly became eliminate disease through eliminating contacts. Humans became isolated. But there was one shining hope during these dark times. Social media influencers. While mainstream celebrities claimed they understood what the common man was going through as they lounged in their multi-million-dollar mansions and sang Imagine by John Lennon in the most tone-deaf way imaginable, streamers and YouTubers were on the grind to make some good frickin' content. From showing us fun DIYs to keep us productive during lockdown, to just making something that made us smile. This was the age of social media stars. And this is where Dream's story really gets interesting. Dream started uploading in the first half of 2019 with a focus on variety Minecraft videos. Some of the first ones that got noticeable attention were centered around PewDiePie and his ongoing Minecraft series for Gaming Week, which, if you don't know, was not a week, it was just funny. But Dream didn't let the success of those videos ruin the rest of his channel and become a pigeonhole for him. He would make them from time to time, but he would focus on other Minecraft videos as well. He would cover other Minecraft mysteries, going from content creator to just general concepts like Herobrine. He would play games and mods with his friends, and he would also challenge other YouTubers to challenges. And while most of these videos did pretty good, so far that Dream called his first 4 videos viral when they got a combined 2 million views, this is really chump change compared to what he soon would become. In April of 2020, 1 month after the lockdown started, Dream hit it, big time. Now, from what I can tell from his views, he had been doing pretty well up until this point, but after April hit, he was getting an average of over 30 million views on a video. Now, my numbers could be messed up due to people rewatching old videos months after they're posted, but I think this is to say this is the point where he got like major popular. Videos after this blew up. But don't worry, he didn't gatekeep his views. He did collabs with other big Minecraft YouTubers and online friends. He made a Minecraft server to play with other big names such as Filza, Bad Boy Halo, Technoblade, and so many more. And then, with the help of fellow streamer Wilbur Slit, they started developing a story for the SMP, which encouraged people to go from streamer to streamer, watch their vlogs, videos, and whatnot, to fully get the story of the SMP, and, understand the lore! This really helped to intermix audiences, and not only gave everyone a boost in followers, but also created a community centered around these creators that people really fell in love with during these times. And for a while, everything was really strong. The story in the SMP was flowing, videos were being uploaded pretty regularly, Dream was succeeding, he was doing great. Yeah, every so often he'd get in a controversy, some bigger and more important than others. But in today's world, cancellation is rampant, and oftentimes people just, turn and look the other way, whatever. We might mention, later, yeah, he got in a cheating scandal on a Minecraft speedrun. He'd comment whenever a relevant one came up or one that he was getting especially a lot of hate for, but otherwise, he kind of just ignored a lot of them from what I saw. Now, for a lot of his career, a lot of people did attempt to dox him, leak pictures of him, but they never got it right to my knowledge. All of the time, they would find someone who they found conventionally unattractive, and they would spread it along online saying, this is why Dream doesn't face reveal, 'cause he's ugly as hell. I'm sorry, I keep doing the Valley Girl voice. I am in a mood today. Come on, you don't want to stand a frickin' NEET who lives in his mommy's basement. You don't want to stand him, right? And not only were a lot of these dox attempts major invasions of privacy, but also just really mean, because in the case that it is Dream, wow, you spent hours of your time scouring the internet to find a photo of him when he was 15 so you could make fun of it online. And if it wasn't Dream, wow, you found someone online and spread it around telling everyone to say this guy's super ugly. That's mean! That's not nice! Don't do that! Now, Dream would poke a lot of fun at these attempts, posting fake face reveals with clearly AI watermark stamps in the corner, or even just telling people more about what he looks like in depth, oh, my hair is styled so the bangs go up and the hair goes down, blah blah blah. I didn't understand. He had a tweet where he in depth explained how he styled his hair, and I was like, I'm imagining nothing, sir, I'm sorry. And why would he face reveal? Not only did his actual friends that he had made online through Minecraft not know what he looks like, but everyone was super mean in these dox attempts. And yeah, what if he wasn't conventionally attractive enough, and then people bullied him based on people fake doxing him? I wouldn't want to do that personally, so I don't know why he would. So with the lack of a face reveal, people turned to fanfic and fan art in order to imagine what Dream would look like. Have someone else paint a mental picture of the man they admire. And draw them they did. They oftentimes drew his persona more so than they did him. And with this, let me tell you what this little persona looked like. His persona would always wear the signature mask, either on his face or like the side of his head. And when it wasn't covering his face, he'd have sharp emerald green eyes, a thin, smooth nose, and neutral toned lips. He'd have a thin, longer jaw and straw blonde, straight hair that was longer on top than the sides. He was tall and slim. He was slightly top heavier, but that was most likely due to his signature lime green hoodie he always wore. Then he would wear skin-tight jeans as well, which always narrowed down the legs. And if you can't tell, a lot of these drawings did lean heavier on the anime side of style than realism. Some people did do more realistic ones, but a lot of the popular ones that you would see a lot more often were definitely more in that anime territory. But yeah, everything was looking great. She's such a good puppy. In January of 2021, Sapnap announced that he was moving to Florida to live with Dream. He took pictures of Dream's cat Patches, he had Dream hang out on a faceless stream, and they even tweeted about one another and took photos. Of course, Dream was always masked in these photos. Now, all of this made people ask, oh, is George gonna move in? Are you gonna live with George? Dream Team Canon? OMG? And when they were asked that, they would react very positively, exclaimed how much they did want George to move. And George himself even said he wanted to move to America, but due to COVID lockdowns and restrictions, it was really hard to get a visa during these times. Dream mentioned that when George moved over, if he ever got to, he would want to make content with him, like IRL. And yeah, that means mask off, because it's really hard to see with a massive chunk of plaster in your face. But George had no plans of moving because there was restrictions. So everything settled down more or less. No progress was being made to the fans' knowledge. So this was just kind of a thing on everyone's back burner. Then, out of nowhere, we get news. George is moving to America come October 2022. When people pointed this out to Dream made the official announcement that he was going to face reveal after George moved in, so George could see his face before the internet did. But come on, this is Dream we're talking about. He can't just post a selfie like, OMG, I'm Dream, what up? Not when he knows that there is hype to be built. And with hype comes an increase in views. So while they waited for George to move to America, Dream put together a little bit of a hype terrain out on Twitter. He started talking more about his appearance, how he looked. He started talking about plans he wanted to do when George finally came over, where he'd like to go, that he was going to go to VidCon, all these really cool, exciting things. Then he started FaceTiming and sending photos of himself to various streamers and other YouTubers, with the caveat being, you need to film yourself while you do this, and post it as well. And then finally, he set up the time and date for his face reveal. People were counting down for the moment he finally showed his face. The thumbnail of the video gave nothing away, with him simply holding his mask up to the camera. The video itself was a premiere, meaning you couldn't just skip it to see what he looked like. You had to wait for his entire intro. Then boom! It's him. It's the man, the myth, the Minecraft legend. DreamWasTaken. The following days, he posted selfies on social media. Most were making fun of haters, exaggerating his jaw when people pointed out that he held his head in a very specific way, making his jaw look very big, something like that. I don't know how he did it. It was weird. Or mimicking Shane Dawson expressions when people said he looked like the forbidden love child of Shane Dawson and Matt Pat. He also went to VidCon with other content creators, took selfies with fans, filmed content with other creators, and it was fine. Everything was cool. Well, it should have been if it wasn't for everything that followed. After the face reveal, Dream decided to take a hiatus. How long of a hiatus, you might be asking? Half a year. And this was so he could focus on other projects and spend time with friends, which were things he was kind of too scared to do before because, well, he would be revealing his face if people saw him hanging out with Sapnap. And while I understand wanting to spend time with your friends, especially if you, this is the first time you ever get to see them, and, just taking a break in general, it would be extremely hypocritical of me to not get that. Have you seen my upload schedule? YouTube isn't really that forgiving. Despite his large number of followers, the videos he posted after break weren't really being pushed in the same way they had been before. Don't get me wrong, they're still getting 7 million views a video, which is a large number. That is not lost on me, but it is also a major decrease from his glory days, where even his worst performing videos would still rank in at least 17 million views. His videos kind of just stopped getting recommended, but Dream constantly bragged all the time about knowing YouTube's algorithm and how he would get max growth and whatnot. So why is he doing so poorly? Now, part of this is due to YouTube's ever-changing algorithm and policy changes. Obviously, YouTube loves daily videos, and they love videos that are over 10 minutes in length. These are the most profitable videos for YouTube. But along with these videos also need to be friendly for children while not being made for children. You don't want another Elsagate, even though there is like a whole other one, but check out someone else's channel for that. I'm not here for it. They don't want you swearing in the first few minutes. They don't want you talking about disturbing topics. And now, while I don't think Dream is like the most inappropriate YouTuber out there, come on, let's not fool ourselves. Man likes to make a dirty joke and cuss every once in a while, which, if YouTube is being especially strict, they might not love. They might prefer to recommend a family channel that uploads once a week more so than him. Whoever is really active and advertiser friendly is going to be in YouTube's good books. And shorts. If you want to get big, upload a crap ton of shorts. YouTube will propose to you on the spot with that that gold diamond YouTube play button. I don't have one, so I wouldn't know which one comes first. I think it's silver. But also, on average, his subscribers aren't really watching as much as they used to. And that's not just him. That's all YouTube viewers. According to Psy, the OG K-pop star, and don't at me, you would know I'm right, we all listen to Gangnam Style. The pandemic was over circa April of 2022, and for the most part, he was right. Sure, the world was changed, most likely for the worst. Did you even go on TikTok during the pandemic? People were crazy. But by this point, the world was opening again. You were allowed to go to school, you were allowed to go to restaurants. There was no longer as much of a need for social media stars. Of course, you're probably still gonna watch your favorites, but you can actually go outside and have a life to live now. You don't just sit down and watch 12 hours of content to numb the pain of being trapped inside and not getting to experience your graduation or really have any fun because you have to stay inside and, oh my gosh. The pandemic was fun. The COVID watch spike has more or less settled since April. So with a decrease in overall viewers' watch time, plus a little less love from the YouTube algorithm, it's not a surprise Dream saw a big decrease in views. That wasn't it. If you didn't know, there's also another reason he saw less support post-face reveal. Around the time of Dream's face reveal, there was another attempt at canceling Dream. This time, the accusation more damning and coming with screenshots and videos of evidence. The accusation claimed he was talked in an inappropriate manner and sexual manner to at least two of his fans, both the age of 17 at the time. To my knowledge, I think both of these times Dream was 20 when he was talking to them, and this was taking place during the pandemic, but I could be wrong. A lot of the information is pretty hard to find about this situation, and this is due to getting quieted down really quickly with the simple, this is going to be settled in court, which kind of locks the outside world from more knowledge because you want a fair, unbiased jury, along with a lot of fake evidence being produced at the time, so it's really hard to tell. But regardless of if these were true or not, a grooming allegation can ruin a career of anyone because no one wants to support an abuser, especially of children. So a lot of people left. They didn't want to be associated with him anymore. Now, his channel didn't see a huge drop in subscribers, and I don't really know why that is, but I do remember seeing a lot of people refusing to see the Dream SMP finale because Dream was a major key player in it. They didn't want to support him. And then I remember post the finale, a lot of people were especially mad because in the finale, Tommy was apologizing to Dream because Dream wasn't actually a bad guy, and whatever he did to him during the Lemanberg arc was totally justified because Dream got put in Pandora's vault, so like, it kind of evens out. For the record, I didn't watch like any of the Dream SMP. Everything I know from it is from what I've heard on Twitter. But yeah, a lot of people more or less kind of just left the fandom because they didn't want to support Dream in any way. Anyways, in summary, Dream fell off the algorithm. His viewers were becoming more selective of what videos to watch. He had damning allegations put against him, thus he's seeing a drop in views and retention. His friends whose channels were smaller were most likely also experiencing a drop in views due to decreased watch time and close association with Dream. So, clearly, the issue here, and the thing that needs to be properly addressed to gain those viewers back, is how fucking ugly he is! On June 9th, 2023, Dream deleted his video, Hi from Dream, and uploaded a new video called Bye from Dream. In this video, he announced that he doesn't like all the attention, so he's putting the mask back on. But don't worry, the mask's upgraded, so he can still go out in public, and no one will just have to see his ugly little mug anymore. But like, honestly, sir, if you don't want attention, don't wear the mask. The mask is so much more like, hi, I'm Dream, I'm here, than a regular face. That's just my opinion. When I see people wearing weird hats, I notice them more than the people not wearing hats. Like, honestly, dude, your regular face, if you just wore a pair of sunglasses and, like, shaved your beard, no one would be able to tell. I mean this in the sweetest way possible. You're not really that distinctive naturally. You're kind of like Tony Hawk. Putting the mask on in public is gonna get you more stares, I'm pretty sure. But Dream started deleting select videos with his face in it. And I say select because A, you can't delete other people's videos and or expect them to delete segments you are in, especially if it is relevant to the rest of the video. And B, he still has a YouTube short that has his face predominantly featured in it. Now, part of me thinks that this entire thing was a gimmick to get more views. At the time of writing this script, it only has about 7.1 million views, which really isn't a boost compared to the last uploads he's done. Another reason he might have done this was to hype up the newest song, which, from the bit I saw, has themes about being a faceless persona, his relationship with another faceless creator known as Technoblade, and at the end they both are released from their personas and left as the people they are. Now, I could be wrong, but his use of face in that video makes me think he wants to go back to the persona of Dream and be judged by that and not as the man named Clay. But I also could be completely wrong, and maybe he just does want to take it back. Who am I to say? I'm not him.
Hi, editing kit, like 3 months in the future or whatever. I'm really dumb, I didn't connect these dots. So I mentioned his song he did, but what I didn't mention is in the comment section of his Mask Back On video, he's like, Until I Die. The name of the song he releases is called Until I Die. So it was 100% a publicity stunt, or at least it's majority publicity stunt to that music video, which, as I mentioned, has a whole bunch of symbiotic face things. But that doesn't matter. I think the rest of my video still stands. Took me months to realize that until I watched another YouTuber who mentioned it. And yes, I am embarrassed it took me that long. Okay, little mini rant over. Bye.
So, everything having to do with his downfall was more so circumstantial than anything else, right? Revealing his face was pointless. It had nothing to do with the rest of this. And to answer that, we are going to need to look at what changed between him and his audience when he face revealed. After Dream's face reveal, something about him changed. And I can't exactly say what it was, it just felt really off. At least to me it did. And I think after a lot of careful consideration, that's it. Dream changed. Before Dream's face reveal, he was more or less focused on Minecraft and then his relationship with other content creators. He would tweet about new videos or joke around with other streamers and fellow members of the Minecraft community. He'd get into silly, pointless arguments with friends, and generally, he was just vibing, having a good time. Sure, he had his moments where he talked about him, but oftentimes those were just one-offs, embarrassing stories, you know, like piss in the bed as an adult. But yeah, once again, something that was pretty rare. Now, post-face reveal, that wasn't exactly the case. He kind of talked a lot more about himself. Yeah, he would mention friends, but there was an explosion of selfies and event photographs, and it was just kind of a change of content overall. To me, it kind of felt more narcissistic, but in like, it was narcissistic in a different way, because he was narcissistic before, but it was like always bragging about a skill or talent he had, like with Minecraft, like, oh, I did this really hard thing to do in Minecraft, aren't I cool? But now he was just kind of just posting pictures of his face. I don't know. It felt really weird. Now, his personality to his fans also kind of changed post-face reveal. He lost a lot of the mystique he previously had. And it wasn't because he revealed his face, necessarily speaking. It was because there was an oversaturation of his face, if that makes sense. Because not only was he posting a whole bunch of selfies, but then that gave fodder to the fans to either repost that or repost it with, whatever Snapchat filter flower crown nonsense they want. And it was just way too much. If he hadn't posted as much, yeah, there would still be a overfilling of content. Just ask Schlatt, who saw his face plastered all over the internet when he first face revealed. But with him also doing it, there was just overall an oversaturation. It lost its charm in a way. And by doing that, it kind of stripped him of the persona he had and instead replaced it with a person. And that's not always the case. For example, Manly Badass Hero is a faceless YouTuber. He has shown his face, but he doesn't show it very often, especially in the modern day. But you can find videos on his channel where his face is shown clear as day. Now, he does have a persona, the character known as Manly. He's pale, has curly black hair, and wears a red scarf. Now, a lot of people will use that, himself included, to stand in for Manly. When you're thinking of Manly, you're more so thinking the character instead of the person, if that makes sense. And now similarly, there is a lot of cover artists on YouTube who do the same thing. Think Jubyphonic, Rachi, and Emily. These are people who use characters to represent themselves. It's not that they've never shown themselves, they have. It's just that that's not the focus. The act of using a character to represent the digital you isn't new. Dream has even done this prior to the face reveal. Think about the Streamy Awards where he had someone rig his little blob guy to basically a PNG face tracker. So we got the classic Dream lip bite. And then even in his interview with Anthony Padilla, but even in that interview, he used fan art someone drew of him that they then lightly animated in a way that I felt was very uncanny and uncomfortable, and I didn't like it very much. At any point, he could have chosen either the blob or the character that someone drew for him to represent him at all times. But because of the oversaturation of his face post-face reveal, he lost that. He didn't embrace the character enough and instead braced himself too much. And as you can imagine, some people weren't into the person as much. Dream unintentionally threw away his persona when he made such a big deal out of his face reveal. And some people weren't there for him. They were most literally there for his videos. Once he made a break in Minecraft content and changed his persona, he alienated a lot of his audience that was kind of already aging out of his content. Now, despite a majority of this video being all about Dream, the alienation of his audience isn't exclusive to him alone. A lot of creators deal with issues of alienating their audiences, either it being a change in content or a change in perceived personality. This is one of the reasons why a lot of YouTubers might choose to have multiple channels, so that they can explore different avenues or different personalities or sides of themselves without bothering their core audience who might not be interested in that. Now, before I tell you how to alienate your audience, we should probably discuss what kind of people are exactly in your audience. Now, of course, I can't break down every audience for every creator ever. That is borderline impossible. I'm not being paid to do that, and I don't want to do that. I don't even want to do that for my own audience. You think I'm going to do it about someone else's? Because you know what? Viewers change from creator to creator. Some people will have more of one type than the other, and then some people will actually fall into two groups. They're like, oh, I love the content, but I also love the audio. So it would be a massive headache and would actually require in-depth research, which I am not qualified to do. So instead, I'm going to break this down into 4 general categories. Just keep in mind that you can be both. You can switch from one to another, so on and so forth. Typically, viewers are going to watch a channel for one or more of these 4 categories, be it content, personality, audio, or visual. If you are viewing for content, you're not concerned with who you're watching necessarily. As long as the content is something that you want to watch, that's all that matters. Examples of this would be if you want to learn a specific skill or talent, you might watch YouTubers who are talking about that. And now you might not follow their channel, but you're definitely going to watch their video that tells you how to crochet a little bunny rabbit. Typically, this is if you have like a specific interest. Now, in my case, typically I end up following these content creators a little bit more down the line because they will talk about topics I'm interested in, but a lot of these are more view baiting than they are subscriber baiting. I don't know. Honestly, you're most likely there more for the content than the creator. Now, if you are watching for the creator and their personality, you deeply care about who they are and less about what they're making. Like, they could switch video topics every week, but as long as they keep that quirky personality you love, you're staying in for the long run. Examples of this would be variety streamers that, yeah, they stream a large variety of things, but their key personality and how they react to content is always the same, so you're just like, well, I gotta keep coming back to you, Schlatt. How else am I supposed to hurt the person who I admire? Now, there are people who are there purely for audio and, generalized sound. Most likely, they are not going to be watching every minute detail of it. They're probably going to have it on in the background, if I'm being honest. Maybe do something else. Kind of like I assume you're doing right now. Love you to death. This is really common with video essays, musicians, and of course ASMR. You're here for that sweet, rich audio quality. And then finally, people who are here for visuals, they potentially don't really care what you're talking about. They're more interested in with how you edit your videos, or then if you're doing something, so like strangely satisfying compilations, gameplay videos, Subway Surfers, so on and so forth. Maybe they're watching because you're doing something strangely satisfying, because you have a beautiful setup, or maybe because they really want to know what happens when you beat Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night 50/20 mode. I don't know, just throwing that out there. Maybe that's why they're watching. And now once again, any of these categories can overlap, they can change from one to another, and there's also just the chance you're just watching out of curiosity. You're like, well, I have nothing to do, this is the perfect amount of time to fill whatever time gap I have, let's just click on it, see what happens. But typically, I would say that those are the 4 major groups of viewership that you can kind of quantify. Now, how do you change all these things? Let me break it down to you. Changing content is pretty explanatory, I feel. If you go from breaking content to Let's Plays, you've changed your content. Now, depending on content and then the creator, some content changes are more smooth. For example, if you started out as a English cover artist of J-pop, K-pop songs, you're probably going to have a lot of anime fans in your audience, which is going to allow you to transition to other anime-related contents like review videos a lot easier than, let's say, a home improvement channel. If they wanted to switch to anime reviews, it's going to be a lot harder, and they probably should just make a new channel at that point. But not all genre changes are that big. Some of them are very small and subtle. So my example of that would probably be Good Mythical Morning. I was a fan of that for its early seasons, and then as it went on, I just lost interest. Something felt wrong to me. And it's weird because by large, the format has stayed the same. It's a daily show that focuses on about one topic an episode, starring Rhett and Link. That's stayed the same for basically all of it, unless that's changed recently, but I don't think it has. However, over the seasons, the energy has kind of changed, and just small details that I'm not a fan of. Their Will It series kind of went from let's put ice cream between two random foods that we like and see if it's good, and then we can do a couple silly ones, to much more of, at least in my opinion, okay, what's 2 normal things, and what's the most atrocious, disgusting thing we're willing to put in our body this episode so we can fill the rest of the episode with that. You want to slurp some pig anuses? Let's fucking do it. And, yeah, I'm not into that personally, and that's just not me. I don't have any proof that's what they go through now, but I am saying they're getting to really gross things a lot faster than I remember, and I'm not for it. I want to know if ice cream would taste good between 2 blocks of cheddar cheese. I know eating gooey duck covered in chocolate's not going to be good, so just try things that might be good, I don't know, potato chips. Anyways, this and many other small things have changed over time, and a lot of old viewers have left because of it. It just didn't feel right anymore. And part of that is the presentation of both of their personalities. But I'm not going to go into this. This isn't going to be a video about Dream and Rhett and Link. Maybe I'll make a video on them in the future. Who knows? But personalities. Personalities often really intertwined with content, if you didn't know. If you change your personality, it's going to change how your work is at least perceived. And that's completely fine. That is natural. If you never changed on anything in your entire life, I would actually be much more concerned. But that being said, a lot of personality changes are more gradual. They happen over time. So you're like, yeah, I don't think I'm the biggest fan of pink. And you're like, okay, maybe pink's all right. And you're like, okay, I kind of like pink. Instead of being like, pink is the most disgusting color. If I see it, I will vomit. And then the next day being like, oh my gosh, Barbie core. I've always loved pink. It's great. Like, that's too much. And now with personality changes, you might get a couple OG fans who are like, hey fam, this isn't for me, peace. But unless you do either a very rapid change or you're in a very specific niche, typically more politician side of YouTube, you're not going to have that big of an issue with that. It's going to be, like I said, more gradual. Now, problems with changing personality, I think mostly come from the breaking character aspect. Because if your fans constantly see you in the same light, and then all of a sudden you switch on them, it feels weird and uncomfy, and maybe one video wouldn't change that. But when you keep breaking this character they have set for you in their head, it's gonna feel wrong. It's like when you have a really it's Olaf from Frozen 1 to Frozen 2. That's why I didn't like him, because in Frozen 1 he was like, oh, I'm happy and I love hugs and I'm kind of naive, and then in Frozen 2 he was just like, the world is a desolate place and water remembers, and have you ever thought what it feels like to die? And it's like, I'm sorry sir, that's not Olaf. And that's exactly what the issue is. It's something feels wrong. And then especially along with that, if you start like hounding your fans, like, no, you're the problem, like, you're gonna make people pretty pissed off. So if you want to make enemies, I guess change your personality and get aggressive about it. That's how you start shit. But if you don't want that, don't. Just be like, okay, I acknowledge I've changed. Peace. Now, changing to a completely quantifiable instead of opinion, and changing audio. Changing audio doesn't just mean going from good quality audio to shit audio. Like, if I decided to just scream into my phone mic instead of using this actual mic, that's not what I mean by changing audio. Because when I'm talking about audio, I'm talking about changing volume, tone, enunciation, description, all that good stuff. And, you know, that doesn't really apply to, I guess, music videos or ASMR. Just videos about, like, words and, like, video essays, but who cares about that? Now, for example, I really love listening to horror content. I just naturally like to listen to those deeper voices talking about, you know, spooky things. Not necessarily, like, the most horrifying things ever, but, like, you know, spooky. But I'm not just listening because of the deep voices. Like, it's definitely tied to the content, because their voice adds something to the stories themselves. So here's an example, because I like how they use tone, description, and whatnot. So here's an example of me changing my tone and description to say the same sentence 3 times, changing the vibe entirely. Hi everyone, me and my out-of-state friend are finally meeting up after, you know, not seeing each other for like years. And she invited me to her cottage in the forest, so let's go. What's up, ranters? Today we're starting an investigation in a cabin out in the woods. Fellow streamer and friend Pinewall will be meeting up with us on this investigation, so let's do this. Now compare both of those to... Hello listeners, today I'm going to be telling you about an interesting encounter I had last week. An old friend invited me to spend a weekend with them in their cabin in the woods, and since it had been quite a while since I'd seen them in person, I jumped on the first plane I could. Now, hopefully those had different vibes. That's what I was going for. But different ways of presenting the same information. Language is really cool because we can do that. And, you know, different styles will suit different audiences better. For example, we all know the tone that certain YouTubers use for their kid audience that they claim is not for children. We all know that tone. So if you change the way you talk, it might be slightly jarring because it's like, you're not supposed to sound like that. Now, finally, changing visuals can be changing the visual tone, just setting the stage for videos or whatever. For example, if my setup changed from, you know, just this cute little bedroom backdrop to something more like this, the vibe would change. If in editing I would change the color saturation from what you see right now to this monochrome black and white, the vibe would change. if I decide to not show my face and instead do a speed draw like I sometimes do, the vibe will once again change. And honestly, if you're just here to watch me do a speed draw and you don't care about my face at all, that's completely valid. I'll admit it. I've definitely watched speed draw videos where I mute the sound and I just watch because I want a tutorial on how they do what they do and they don't have one, so I'm like, well, I guess I'll just divide it out from watch and slow down. But yeah, if I went from doing exclusively face cams to all of a sudden only doing speed draws and never showing my face again and denying I had a face, as crazy as that would be, the vibe would change. But don't worry, I plan on doing a horrible mix of both of those. Now, sometimes creators are aware that they can alienate their audience, and they do it intentionally at the risk of losing their original audience. And even getting really negative comments like, you used to be better, go back to where you were. But yeah, sometimes it's kind of for the best. Sometimes fan bases can be very toxic and or limiting in ways that taking the initial L is actually better for the content creator in the long run. Similarly, once you make a lot of videos, you can come to hate a genre very quickly. And even just making the videos makes you so upset, angry, uncreated, unmotivated. And you know, it is in your right to change content for your channel because it's yours. My only issue is when you take it out on the fans. Like, it's okay, we can acknowledge we've all changed, you can address it, move on. We don't need to linger on it. We can be better than them. I believe in you. Okay, love you, bye. So examples of people who have intentionally changed their fan base would probably be Nanners. Her original fan base, from what I've heard, is really toxic. Like, I think a lot of her fans were like really high-level NEETs. I mentioned that word earlier. NEET stands for non-education, employment, or training. It's a more common slang in Japan or on the internet, but it's just, you know, basement dwellers. And due to her time on 4chan, she played really heavily into these NEETs' wishes. But in the modern day, she regrets doing that and has sought to change. If you want to know more about her situation, I'd recommend Turkey Tom's video. He went pretty in-depth on it, and it was very informative. But I will also say it talks a lot about 4chan anime board stuff, so there is some viewer discretion advised if you're sensitive to that topic. And now, an example of change of content would probably be PewDiePie's short vlog era in, I think, 2017. He made vlogs for a while because that was what the daily grind committed for him. If you want to succeed, you gotta post daily, and vlogs are a lot easier than doing hour-long gameplays. But it was so demanding that he came to hate the vlog genre for a while because it was just constant, I have to film every part of my life. And now, to my knowledge, he has reconciled with it. He does vlog videos now, but they're a lot more rare, and they're usually more documentation of either special days or events that he has with Marzia. And you know what? Changing your content isn't bad. It's not terrible. It's okay to change things to make yourself happier. Just be aware that, yeah, it can cause people to leave. And it's not that they hate you or that you all of a sudden fell off and your videos suck or anything. It's just sometimes that happens, and sometimes it's worth doing that to prevent yourself from getting miserable. And if this makes you feel better, there is 100% a fact. There are people who only watch Markiplier to wait for when he posts a Five Nights at Freddy's video, and they don't give a crap about the rest of it. I can guarantee you that. It's a lot easier to blame just one or two reasons for low performance instead of just sitting down and evaluating all the causes and even admitting, yeah, maybe I've changed a little bit. And while denial is more than just a river in Egypt, self-reflection is kind of needed to grow. Sure, you don't have to force yourself to do something you hate and be miserable all the time, but acknowledging growth and change is a better choice than blaming your fans for reasons that you may have made up in your head, because no one likes being made a straw man of after all. It's really easy to alienate a fan base, and sometimes it is for the best. Just don't go and intentionally alienate them and just to scream at them because they don't want to watch you anymore because you've changed. And now, if you're not concerned with views and likes and subscribers, then do you, I guess? Personally, I recommend finding some unifying element for your channel, be it topic, editing, tone, etc. But that's probably more so my professional artist part talking, more than actually me. And yeah, I have to mention, I'm an artist, got a degree in graphic design, because I like to be annoying, okay? Okay, love you. But yeah, make whatever you want. Publish it when you want. Doesn't have to be perfect. Do it. We need more stuff in the world, and oftentimes the least polished stuff is way more fun than something overproduced. Okay, this has been a long video. Hopefully I'll be editing a good chunk of it out because I've been recording for over an hour. But yeah, I've been filming for a while, and I have an outro written, but I like to do outros really, loosey-goosey. It's kind of just like an unwind from the rest of the video. So that video very quickly tangented and rabbit's holed and wound its way into being way longer than I meant and probably way longer than it needed to be. I really didn't want to go super in-depth on Dream, and we're here. Because I was like, I should fact check that, and I was like, oh, and that's a fact I can add, and that's a fact I can add, and that's another fact I can add, and then we had a lot of facts, and it's a lot. So, if in some way, you got this far in the video, leave a smiley face emoticon down in the comments below. And I mean the emoticon, not the emoji. I want to see the close parentheses, not emojis, because the emoji is kind of scary, and I don't want that level of negativity in my comments, okay? Okay. I think I put a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, but once again, don't harass or bully anyone or anything I mention in this video. That is not a good way to be. If you genuinely dislike someone's content, just unfollow, block them. You don't need to go and harass them. Oftentimes that's just boosting their engagement further, and you're not actually going to teach them a lesson. But seeing a decrease in views and subscribers is going to teach them more of a lesson in my experience. Anyways, this video, it was a lot, and it involved like people, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna do something a little sillier next time.
This is gonna blow, but it'll be fun and festive. Okay. It has to load. This is hype, boy. I wear a mask with a smile for hours at a time, stare at the ceiling while I hold back what's on my mind. And when they ask me how I'm doing, I'll say I'm just fine. And when they ask me how I'm doing, I'll say I'm just. The fact is, I can never get off of my mattress, and all that they can ask is, why are you so sad, kid? Why are you so sad? That's what the mask is. That's what the point of the mask is. So you can see I'm trying, you won't see me crying. I'm smiling, I'm good, and it just keeps on piling. It's so terrifying, but I keep on smiling. I'm good. Been caring too much for so long, been comparing myself for so long, been wearing a smile for so long. It's real, so long, it's real, so long, it's real. Always being judged by a bunch of strange faces. Scared to go outside, I haven't seen the light in ages. But I've been places, so I'm okay-ish. So I'm okay, yeah, I'm okay. Bitch, the fact is, I can help them failing on my classes. They think that I need glasses. I just really wish that I could pass this past. Wish that I could. That's what the mask is. That's what the point of the mask is. So you can see I'm trying, you won't see me crying. I'll just keep on smiling, I'm good, and it just keeps on piling. It's so terrifying, but I keep on smiling. I'm good, yeah, I'm good. I've been caring too much for so long, been comparing myself for so long, been wearing a smile for so long. It's real, so long, it's real, so long, it's real, so long, it's real, so long, it's real.
Okay, that was really bad. Okay, anyways, I love you. See you later. Bye!